Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to learn how to make another version of the mesh dress, but this time with bra cups. Let's go into the materials. If you would like the written pattern, it's already available on all my online shops, and all the links will be in the description box below, as well as the related content in the mesh pattern. So the materials that you will need for this project are yarn, a pair of scissors, a 5mm crochet hook, and a measuring tape, and of course a darning needle to weave in your ends. So for the yarn, I am using this robin yarn, which is 100% acrylic, and it is 50 grams per ball, but each ball is 300 yards. Alright, so since I am using a double strand for my dress, I will need approximately 2,400 yards to complete the whole dress. But if you're using a single strand, then you will need to have about 1,200 yards in order to complete the dress. So for this tutorial, we are going to first work the bra cups, and later on we shall work on the bottom mesh. Alright, now for the bra cups, you're going to start off with a slip knot. And we are using a 3mm crochet hook, by the way. And you're going to make a chain of 16. For all the other sizes, just check on the screen. So I have my chain of 16. You're going to prepare for a double crochet, and you're going to go into the fourth chain from the hook. So 1, 2, 3, and into the fourth you're going to place one double crochet, and then double crochet all the way down the chain, placing one double crochet in each and every chain until you have only one chain left. Alright, so I have only one chain left here, and into that last chain you're going to place 3 double crochets, chain 2, and 3 more double crochets into the same exact chain. And then you're going to go behind the starting chain, and you're going to place 1 double crochet in each and every chain. And as I do this, I'm going to weave in this tail as well. So I'm just going to hold it against the upper chain and work around it. As you can see here, we are weaving it in as we go. So 1 double crochet into each and every chain on the opposite side of the starting chain. So we are placing 1 double crochet into the chain 3. Remember the chain 3 at the beginning, or it counts as a double crochet, so don't miss it when you're working your double crochets. So this is what you'll have for row 1 of the bra cup. So we are going on to row 2. You're going to make a chain of 3, turn your work, and you're going to go into the next stitch. So the chain 3 counts as a double crochet, and it's attached to the very first stitch here. So you're going to go into the next stitch with 1 double crochet, and double crochet all the way up until you get to the stitch before the chain 2 space at the tip of the bra cup. All right, so we've reached the chain 2 space, and we're going to place 2 double crochets, chain 2, and 2 more double crochets into the same exact chain 2 space. And this is what you will have. So from here, you're going to go all the way down, placing 1 double crochet in each and every stitch. So we're coming to the end, and don't forget to place 1 double crochet into the top of the chain 3. Place a double crochet there, and this marks the end of row 2. So we're going to keep working back and forth until we get enough coverage for our bra cup. I'll be recommending a number of rows for the different sizes when I come back and I have gotten enough coverage for my bra cup. Alright guys, so I ended up doing a total of 7 rows for the size medium, and for all the other sizes, check on the screen. So from here, you're going to make a chain of 4. We are creating the edging for our bra cup. The chain of 4 counts as a double crochet chain 1. Skip the next stitch and 1 double crochet into the next. So we are going to repeat this, chain 1, skip the next stitch, 1 double crochet into the next. Repeat that all the way up until you're almost at the top of the bra cup, and then I'll show you what to do next. The fan. Alright, so we're almost coming to the top of the bra cup, and we've created the mesh pattern along the edge, and we have 1 stitch left. So I'm going to make a chain of 1, skip over that 1 stitch, and then into the chain 2 space I am going to place 2 double crochets, chain 2, and 2 more double crochets, just like that. And then from here I'm going to make a chain of 1, skip the next stitch, and then 1 double crochet into the next. And then you're going to go back to the mesh pattern along this side of the bra cup, and you'll have something that mirrors exactly what we have here. So chain 1, skip 1 stitch, 1 double crochet into the next. Repeat that all the way down the second side of the bra cup. So we're coming to the end, and I have 2 stitches left. I'm going to skip over the second last one, chain 1 here, and I am going to go into the top of the chain 3 on the edge of the previous row, and I'm going to place a double crochet. So that is going to create a mesh edging for our bra cup, and this is going to kind of blend into the mesh pattern that we have for the base of that dress. So from here you're going to make a chain of 1, turn your work, and you're going to place 2 single crochets in each and every chain 1 space. on the first side of the bra cup. So 2 single crochets in each chain 1 space. All right, so when we come to the almost to the top of the bra cup, remember we have these 2 stitches. You're going to go into each of the stitches with 1 single crochet, and then into the chain 2 space you're going to place 3 single crochets, and then 1 single crochet in each of the next 2 stitches, and then in each of the next chain 1 spaces you're going to place 2 single crochets all the way down. Okay, so when we come to the end, you're still going to place 2 single crochets into the very last space, and then from here you're going to make a chain of 1 and cut your yarn, leaving a strand to attach. So this is what our bra cup will look like. You're going to make an identical one, exactly the same as the first one. I already have mine here. And then from here, let's go on to the second part of the dress, and that is the bottom part, the bottom mesh design of the dress. We shall come back to this later on when we are going to attach. All right, so you're going to grab your yarn and your hook, and you're going to start off with a slip knot. And you're going to make a chain that's an even multiple. So an even number of chains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this chain should be stretching to your hip measurement. So you're going to make sure that your chain is not twisted. Make sure the braided part is on the upper side at all times. And we are going to make a slip stitch into the very first chain. So insert your hook into the first chain and pull through all. That's a slip stitch. And this will create a circular loop, as you can see here. So we're going to start off with our very first round of mesh, and we're going to start off with a chain of 4. That chain of 4 counts as a double crochet chain 1. Skip 1 chain, skip the next chain, and then 1 double crochet into the next. Chain 1, skip 1 chain, and 1 double crochet into the next. And you're going to repeat that all the way around. This is going to create the mesh pattern. All right, so we're almost coming to the end of the round, and I am still creating the mesh pattern. And you're going to do that until you have only one chain left on your round. So I have this one chain left before the end of the round. I will make a chain of one and skip that chain, and then slip stitch into the third chain of the first chain 4 of the round. So we have a chain 4 here. You're going to count from the base 1, 2, and 3, and into the third chain you're going to insert your hook and pull through all, and that's how we end our round. So from here you're going to make a chain of 4, turn your work so that you're working in the opposite direction of the previous round. And then you're going to skip over the next chain space and then go into the double crochet with 1 double crochet. Chain 1, 1 double crochet into the next double crochet. So we are not working anything into the chain 1 space. We are going into the stitches from the previous round, and we are placing 1 double crochet in each double crochet and separating each double crochet with a chain 1 space. So chain 1, 1 double crochet into the next, chain 1, 1 double crochet into the next, and then go all the way around until you're almost at the end of the round, and I'll show you what to do when you get here. All right, so we are coming to the end of round 2, and you'll do the mesh pattern until you have only one chain space left, which is this one. You're going to make a chain of 1 and slip stitch into the third chain of the first chain 4 of the round, counting from the base. So this is what you're going to have. Round 3 is basically going to be the same as round 2. So you're going to make a chain of 4, turn your work, and then you're going to go into the next double crochet with a double crochet. So we are going to repeat this around and around, and I'll let you know how many rounds that I'll do. All right, so we did a total of 70 rows, and now we're going to count a total of 30 inches. So the 30 inches is our waist measurement. So get your waist measurement, and we're going to do something else, because now we're going to stop working in rounds and we're going to start working rows. So from here you're going to just chain 1, cut your yarn. If you count the number of boxes that we have around the skirt, for me that will be 72 boxes. So 72 boxes is equal to the measurement of the hip, which was 46 inches. That's what I considered to be the circumference of the hip. Then X boxes is equal to 30 inches that we are trying to achieve for the waist. So 72 times 30 is equal to 46. I'm sorry if this is too much math, but we have to calculate the number of so this is 72 times 30 is 2160 divided by 46. 46.9, and we shall round it off to 47. So we have to get 47 boxes, and since this is the back panel, this is the back panel. All right, so put the back panel at the back and then the front panel here, and then you're going to mark the exact middle. We're going to just eyeball and do rough estimates. Okay, so let's say this is the 47th box, and so 47 minus 1 will be 46. So since I have an odd number, I'm going to put my hook here in the exact middle and then subtract 1 to get an even number, and then divide this by 2 and get 23 inches. So those are the 23 boxes. Those are the number of boxes that we are going to count on each side of the hook. So get 2 stitch markers. Let's get 2 stitch markers and count off 23 boxes outwards on each end. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, and 23. And then you're going to place your stitch marker there. And then count off 23 boxes on this side as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, and 23. All right, now we're going to start working in rows, working back and forth, back and forth. You're going to grab your yarn. And you're going to make a slip knot and then attach in this space. Make sure you're working in the opposite direction of the previous round. So just attach your hook here in the stitch after the stitch marker. So the stitch marker is here. This was the 23rd box. So at this point you can remove the stitch marker and put it aside, and then make a chain of 4, 1 double crochet into the next double crochet, chain 1, 1 double crochet into the next. So you're going to repeat this all the way across. All right, so we're almost coming to the second stitch marker, and I'll chain 1, skip over that space with a stitch marker and place a double crochet into the next stitch. Then you can remove the stitch marker at this point. So this is what we have. We are going to work back and forth until we have a total of 5 inches. So for this particular design, I have I just want to measure. It's about 3 rows that make 2 inches. So basically we are going to do a total of 7 to 8 rows to make a total of 5 inches. So from here you're going to make a chain of 4, turn your work, and then double crochet into the next double crochet, chain 1. The chain 4 at the beginning of the row counts as a double crochet chain 1, so note that. So that's all that we are going to do. You work back and forth, back and forth. When you come to the end of the row, you place a double crochet in the 3rd chain on the edge, skipping 1 chain here. So just work back and forth, and you can see the back of the dress is open. So we have this distance from here all the way to here that's not worked, and that one we shall get back to it later on. All right, so I ended up doing a total of 8 rows. As you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Actually, there are 9 rows in order to get my 5 inches for this upper extension from the skirt. And this is what we have. And when we turn our work onto the back side, this is what we have. Point, we are going to start shaping the halter design on the upper part of the dress. So from here, you're going to get a stitch marker and mark this row where you are right now. That will be the row, the last row of the waistband, the waist area, the torso area. So from your last row, you're going to make a chain of 3, which counts as a double crochet, turn your work, and you're going to skip the next double crochet here and go into the next with 1 double crochet, and then chain 1 double crochet into the next, and continue creating the mesh pattern all the way across until you have 2 spaces left on your row. So we have 2 spaces left, this one and this one, and you're going to prepare for a double crochet by yarning over, and you're going to go into the 3rd chain of the 1st chain 4 on the edge with the double crochet. So you just skip over this space and then go into the edge stitch. All right, now for the next row of decrease, make a chain of 3, turn your work, skip over 2 spaces, 1, 2, and then into the next double crochet. So you can see we are skipping only 2 spaces, then double crochet into the next stitch and go all the way across, placing continuing the mesh pattern. Until you have a total of 2 spaces left on your row. And at this point, your dress or the topmost measurement of the halter version of the dress, the length across the topmost length of the dress should be decreasing as we create the halter version of the dress. All right, so we have 2 spaces left at this point. So when you have 2 spaces left, you're going to just prepare for a double crochet without chaining 1, and you're going to go into the top of the chain 3 on the edge of the previous row and place a double crochet there. All right guys, so I did a total of 5 rows of decreases. As you can see here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 rows of decrease, and this brought me to this length. So you're going to keep decreasing until you get to your under bust level, and then from here you're going to count the number of boxes that you have across and divide that number by 2. So I have a total of 35 boxes across, and I'll look for the 18th box. I believe that should be the exact middle of my stretch. Then from here, you're going to get your 2 backups that we did at the beginning of the video, and we're going to attach them onto our lower part. So you're going to make sure that this is the right side of the dress and this is the right side of the backups. So when you flip the backups over like this, we are going to start seaming up the backups onto the lower part of the dress. And to do that, you're going to grab your yarn. All right, so I'm going to leave a strand on this side, a very long strand, by the way, so that it will work on the second backup. And then I'm going to start with this one that's on the side where I crochet from. So I'm right-handed, so I'm going to first attach this side. So what I'm going to do is attach the single crochet row of the backup, the one on the edge, into the exact middle space, which has the stitch marker with 1 single crochet, like that. And then we're going to start attaching 2 single crochets in each row of the backup and in each chain 1 space of the lower part of the dress. So what I mean by that is in this space with the double crochet space, you're going to place 2 single crochets, and then into this space we're also going to place 2 single crochets. So you just align and start attaching 2 single crochets in each space all the way across. Anyway, let me just continue. So what we're doing right now is attaching each row of the bra cup into a chain one space of the lower part of the dress with 2 single crochets. All right, so I have 1 space left here, and I'll attach my single crochet row, and then from here I'll make a chain of 1 and cut my yarn. So let's see what we have. This is exactly what we have. So we are going to do the same exact thing on this side. So remember the strand that we left behind, this one, it's the one that we are going to use to attach, and this time we are going to just flip over our work like this, so that we are working from the center of the dress and then outwards to the edge of the bottom band. So what you're going to do right now is to attach the very first single crochet row or the edge row of the bra cup into the middle space with 1 single crochet, just like we did for the first bra cup. So 1 single crochet, and then continue to place 2 single crochets in each space, aligning with each row of the bra cup. All right, after attaching your second bra cup, you can now remove the stitch marker, and this will be the wrong side of your work. When we turn this onto the right side, this is exactly what we'll have. We've attached the bra cups onto the top section of the mesh pattern at the base of the dress. So what we're going to do right now is to make straps on the top of the bra cups. Okay, so for the straps, I attached my yarn here and I went back to my 5mm crochet hook, and then also I made a total of 4 strands of yarn. Since I was using 2 strands, I doubled that as well to make a total of 4 strands, and I made a chain of 200 on each bra cup, as you can see here. And then you're going to turn your work onto the wrong side, which is this side, and you're going to try to weave in all your ends. I have strands at the same point, so for those ones I'll just knot them twice or thrice and cut them off, and then also get rid of all the loose strands around the dress. Alright guys, so after weaving in all your ends, I still have one here. Let me just get rid of it. After getting rid of all your loose ends on your dress, you're going to turn it onto the back side. The back side is the one with the opening here, and you're going to get your straps and you're going to lace up. You're going to just make a crisscross from the bra cups like this, create an X, and then you're going to go into the very last row of plain rows, the one that doesn't have a decrease, before we started making the decreases, and you're going to pass through your yarn like this, and then you're going to skip maybe 3 spaces, 1, 2, 3, and into the 4th, you're going to crisscross again, 1 2 3, and into the 4th, and then you're going to skip again, 1 2 3, and into the 4th, so whichever pattern that you prefer, you can skip 2 spaces or 3 spaces or 4 spaces. That's really up to you. Then from here, you are going to count the number of spaces once you get to the base. When you're along that line, that very last line of the skirt part of the dress, you're going to count the number of spaces between these 2 strands. So I have 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 and 18 spaces. So the 9th space is literally my exact middle here, the 9th. So my exact middle is this stitch. So I'm going to start weaving in and out. So we are going in and out of every space until we get to the hook, the exact middle of the back. So you can stop there and then do the same exact thing on this side, in and out of every space on that flat edge at the back of the dress. And then you can also stop there. So we can remove our hook and we have something like this. This will gather the back side of the dress, and then you're going to just make a knot just like this, and your dress at this point is ready to wear. Guys, that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Don't forget to check out the written pattern, and I will see you again in my next video. Bye. Thanks for watching. Let's see the final look of our dress.